No, I was laughing, Honourable Speaker, because I don't know if the Senator from Kisii has seen the schedule at page 15 of that report, that in fact the number one county on that schedule that is losing up to half of the money that was scheduled or passed by this Senate is Kisii County. That if you look at the money that was passed by the Senate was 250 million. The National Assembly has slashed it to 127 million. Now, Honourable Speaker, I know what some people are trying to tell us here, that we should not question, for whatever reason, the decisions that the Committee on Finance reaches. But the committee has a responsibility to explain to us what the National Assembly rationale for those reductions was. In my view, Honourable Speaker, for instance, when you look at the amount of money that had been passed by this House regarding the county headquarters for the 5 counties, if you look at that schedule at page 15 of the report, the National Assembly basically just removed 1 million shillings from each county. So if you see, there are 5 counties there: Isiolo, Lamu, Nyandarua, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi. Where the Senate has passed 60 million shillings, the National Assembly has reduced it to 59. 121 to 120 for Lamu, 121 to 120 for Nyandarua, 121 to 120 for Tana River, and 31 million to 30 million for Tharaka Nithi. At the very minimum, you know, this just looks like a very arbitrary action, or just, to me, Honourable Speaker, a flexing of muscles that the National Assembly can show the Senate that they can do these things. What is the rationale? I mean, the committee should explain to me what is the scientific reason behind moving the allocation for Isiolo from 60 million to 59. What is the rationale? That is a conversation we want to have, because for us, Honourable Speaker, who believe in devolution, we see a situation where the National Assembly, most of the times, is blackmailing governors and county governments into accepting things. You have heard the language that has been used here by some of my colleagues who are members of the Finance Committee, that let us just do this so that the money is released so that counties don't suffer. And I have had conversations with governors when they appear before a Public Accounts Committee of the Senate. Honourable Speaker, I have asked them, is it not possible one financial year for us as a family of devolution to tell the National Assembly, you can keep all the money if you want, until you are able to give us all that we deserve as a family of devolution? Because this is open blackmail. Every single time, this is the argument. Honourable Speaker, what Senator Eddy has failed to mention to you is that the High Court, which has jurisdiction to determine constitutionality of the laws that we pass here, has already declared the removal of sums of money to do with RMLF from the county governments unconstitutional. I am aware there is a Court of Appeal stay of that decision, but the Constitutional Court has already determined that in fact that was unconstitutional. This is blackmail. It is blackmail that every single time we are not in agreement with our brothers in the National Assembly, they threaten that, oh, we need to just allow this to go so that we are able to get a fraction of what we deserve. So a reduction, Honourable Speaker, of the amount from 93 billion to 70 billion, to me, is a matter that we in the Senate must be concerned about. And I will keep reminding people, you know, Honourable Speaker, it has become fashionable for people to throw around this thing. Every single discussion that comes up, we in Broadbased. I want to remind them that the Broadbased is based on a 10-point agenda, one of which, Honourable Speaker, was to ensure that county governments are fully financed, fully funded, and that devolution is protected. So when you run around with this thing, always remember that there is an agreement there that is the underpinning of that relationship. And if you do not do what that agreement says, then you cannot run around talking about Broadbased. So those of you who like to run around with that thing, please read it. And Honourable Speaker, I have said here before that because even Baba himself told the country that I'm the one who wrote that thing, don't argue with me about its contents. I know exactly what it says. I know exactly what the spirit was. I know exactly what the intention of that agreement was. So, Honourable Speaker, if you see a reduction in amounts that are going to counties of that magnitude, I, as SG of ODM, as a senator, sworn to protect devolution, I must raise the alarm. Let us not hear excuses from the Finance Committee. Let us not hear excuses for the Finance Committee. Which financial year will this Senate ever put its foot down and say, you give us all or nothing? Let the county governments shut down the way that he has said here. Because they're always blackmailing us with a shutdown of county governments. One of these financial years, we should put our foot down and say, give us what we deserve or stay with all of it, if you don't want devolution to work. So, Honorable Speaker, for me, the committee must put its foot down and get explanations from the National Assembly as to why these decisions were made. And when Eddie raises that point of order, I have no problem. Let him give us an explanation of the 1 million shilling reduction in each county of these 5 counties that was allocated for construction of
Honorable members, allow Senator Sifuna, I believe, is concluding. Let's allow to have him conclude. Senator Sifuna.
Honorable Speaker.
I'm giving you the floor to conclude.
The what?
I'm giving you to continue.
Thank you.
Conclude on the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It is incumbent upon members of the Finance Committee, when you are moving your report, to explain things. We are not members of that committee. If you did not ask these questions, we have a right to ask these questions, Honorable Speaker. I have only asked for the rationale, because to me it appears just an arbitrary plugging of figures from the air like this. So if there is a member of that committee that can explain to us why the National Assembly reduced 1 million from Isiolo, I'm ready and willing to hear that explanation. But the move of the report never said anything. The second never said anything. The reductions in the county aggregation and industrial parks allocations, Honorable Speaker, Kisii County, by half. By half. So at the end of the day, we are not, and you can hear some of my colleagues here shouting that, that you put the question, because they don't want to interrogate these matters. They don't want to interrogate them. So, Honorable Speaker, for me, as a person who's sworn to defend devolution, these questions we will ask them year in, year out. And I want the Senate and its committees to show a bit more spine and not capitulate at the hands of the National Assembly, because we will be blackmailed and told, oh, counties will suffer, salaries will not be paid. I had the opportunity, Honorable Speaker, of visiting one of these industrial parks that is being done by Kiambu County in Githunguri. And they are waiting for this money to be able to process. In fact, when we were there, the issue was that the county was unable to match those funds. And it is part of the discussion about devolution and protection of devolution, Honorable Speaker, when national government comes up with these programs without knowing or without consulting the county governments to know where the resources for these projects are going to come from. Kiambu has been unable to match. We had the governor of Makueni before our committee on public accounts, and he told us, Honorable Speaker, that for Makueni, the feedback that they gave to the national government is that their priority was not those county industrial and aggregation parks. But because someone has sat in Nairobi and decided that these things must be built, despite what you're saying, from what the ground is saying is their priority, they are going to build them whether you like it or not. Honorable government overreach of devolved functions. So therefore, Speaker,
Senator Eddie, what's your point of order?
Mr. Speaker, I'm just under responsibility of statement of fact, Mr. Speaker, 105. And also, perhaps it borders 101, Mr. Speaker, on the statements that my good friend Senator Sifuna has talked about in terms of insinuation that perhaps we're just using the word broad-based to protect a conversation around this bill. Mr. Speaker, I think that it's a matter of fact from my side, and perhaps Sifuna should understand, Senator Sifuna should understand, that when I raised the issue of the biggest chunk of money that has not come here, it is an issue that has been blocked by law. The matter is in court. There is nothing we can do for a matter that is in court. He himself is a lawyer, and you know, Mr. Speaker, if he is indeed a lawyer who believes in broad-based, the way I know he believes in broad-based, and Mr. Speaker, you know, he wrote this broad-based, 10-point agenda, is my whip, Mr. Speaker. I didn't go to broad-based in my own volition. He whipped me into broad-based and made sure that I went there by signing this document, Mr. Speaker. On two issues.
Senator Eddie, sorry. Are you debating or you are raising a point of order?
No, the point of order
you
is,
have
is on I said 101. And and I'm dealing with 101 first, where my defense for this particular bill was insinuated to be a mere issue of we're in broad-based, let's just pass this.
Go to 105.
Okay? And let me just finish this because he says...
Go to 105 because that is the question Senator Sifuna was asking, a justification or explanation from the committee on some of those reductions.
Yeah, and I'm saying that 105 is a matter of fact in the sense that the RMLF that has been delayed because the matter is actively in court. It's not because of a broad-based issue, it's in court. In fact, he is, as a lawyer, should actually perhaps join the devolution family to go to court on behalf of those things that are being delayed by court, including compensation.
Senator Eddie, you've made your point. Take your seat. Senator Sifuna, part of the point of order, which I rule it's not a point of order, Senator Eddie, is an explanation as to the question you asked from the committee, that they ought to have given an explanation as to why part of that money has not been released. And you've got from the member that indeed there is a matter in court, and I believe that suffices to some extent as an explanation, which of course does not necessarily answer conclusively the concerns you've raised, which are entitled to you as a member of this House to raise in debating the report.
Speaker, I have dedicated my life to teaching these broad-based people. First of all, the stay in the Court of Appeal did not stop Parliament from legislating. There is no way a court can stop you from putting a schedule on a piece of legislation. That is what you should know. Luckily for you, you are my classmate at the University of Nairobi, so you know exactly what I am saying. Number two, the Senate was aware of that court case that was going on. We, in our wisdom, never removed the RMLF from the statute. So if tomorrow we wake up, for instance, Honorable Speaker, and that court order has been lifted, and you have a schedule here that does not have RMLF, then you start over the process again. The court did not stop you from doing your job as legislators and making laws. So understand these things, we know them. I know Senator Eddie is not a lawyer, so I'll forgive him. But what you need to do, Senator, as a member of this Finance Committee, please take time to explain to us. If I come here with a report of the County Public Accounts Committee, Honorable Speaker, or indeed the Energy Committee where I sit, I have a responsibility because I'm the one who interacted with those decisions and discussions to explain. All I asked, Speaker, is give us a rationale because these counties are not the same. Isiolo, Lamu, Nyandarua, Tana River, Tharaka Nithi, they are not the same. So how come when the National Assembly is reducing the money, it reduces across the board the same amount? What is the rationale? Because if you look at the initial allocation, Isiolo had been given only 60 million, right? Lamu has 121, which is almost double that. So even if there is a reduction, you would expect that it would be proportionate. Nobody has bothered to explain to us. They are just shouting here that you put the question, Honorable Chair. You have a responsibility to explain. You have a responsibility to explain. No, I have heard enough from laymen. Now let you listen to the lawyers now. I don't want your information. Speaker, we will fight for the family of devolution. This is what we saw here too. He would not be here telling me, oh, we are in broad-based. He would say takataka. Yes. So those of us who knew the man, allow us to tell you what he would have done. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.